Welcome back to This Day in Irish History. I'm your host, Raymond Welsh. Before we dive into today's story, if you'd like to explore other significant events that happened on this day in Irish history, visit thisdayirishhistory.com. The link is in the episode description. Now, let's journey back to April 6th, 2000, when a bomb exploded inside the Ebrington Army Barracks in Derry, an unsettling reminder that the shadow of violence still lingered, even as Northern Ireland edged closer to a fragile peace. The Ebrington Barracks, situated on the east bank of the River Foyle, had long been a symbol of British military presence in Northern Ireland. By the turn of the millennium, the Good Friday Agreement was already 2 years old. The 1998 Accord had marked a dramatic shift toward reconciliation, power sharing, and the prospect of a peaceful future. But peace, as history has taught us, is never signed into being overnight. For many, particularly dissident Republican groups who viewed the agreement as a betrayal of the ultimate goal of a united Ireland, the peace process was seen not as a breakthrough, but as a sellout. It was in this climate of tension and competing visions that the Ebrington bombing occurred. On the morning of April 6, 2000, a device exploded inside the heavily fortified military compound. Although no injuries were reported, the blast caused significant damage to a guard hut and surrounding infrastructure within the base. It was not a mass casualty event, nor was it likely intended to be. Instead, it seemed to be an act of defiance, deliberate and symbolic. The attack was widely attributed to dissident Republican factions, most likely the Real IRA, which had formed in opposition to the Provisional IRA's ceasefire and its leadership's engagement with the political process. These groups, small in number but determined in ideology, rejected any solution that fell short of a complete British withdrawal from Northern Ireland. For them, Ebrington Barracks was not just a military installation, it was a manifestation of what they considered an illegitimate occupation. The significance of this attack went far beyond its physical damage. It came at a particularly delicate moment in the peace process. While many former enemies were now sitting side by side in political chambers, old distrust remained. Institutions created under the Good Friday Agreement, like the Northern Ireland Assembly and the North-South Ministerial Council, were still in their infancy and had yet to earn the full trust of all communities. Acts of violence like the Ebrington bombing tested that trust, raising fears that the process could still unravel. Yet, in many ways, the public and political response to the bombing revealed how far Northern Ireland had already come. There was widespread condemnation from across the political spectrum, including from Republican leaders who had once been involved in armed struggle themselves. Martin McGuinness, a former IRA commander, and by then a leading figure in Sinn Féin, decried the attack as regressive and undermining of the will of the Irish people. Even within nationalist communities, support for dissident violence had dwindled, with most embracing the democratic path laid out by the agreement. The Ebrington bombing served as a sobering checkpoint on the road to peace, reminding everyone that while the war may have ended, the peace was still a work in progress. It highlighted the resilience of hardline ideologies, but also the increasing isolation of those who refused to lay down arms. Over time, the influence of dissident groups would continue to wane, though not disappear, as Northern Ireland's political institutions slowly gained stability. Ebrington Barracks itself would eventually be decommissioned and transformed as part of Derry's broader regeneration efforts. In the years that followed, the site was reborn as Ebrington Square, a public space symbolizing new beginnings and community engagement. In a city once defined by division, this transformation stood as a quiet yet powerful counterpoint to the violence of the past. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Ireland's rich and complex history. Please like and subscribe, and until next time, I'm Raymond Welsh. Slán go Foyle.